Okay, so now in this video we will set up all of the gangster mentions. So for that, let's go ahead and click on prefab. Right here, as you can see, this is the gangster mention. Okay, and if you click on it, this will be the fence for the gangster mention. But if you drag and drop this fence right here, okay, and let's zoom on it, as you can see right here, this gate, okay, doesn't have any materials, and also this fence doesn't have the material, and also it is not transparent, as you can see. Okay, it looks really ugly. This is because I have exported this not in the right way, so we can just simply delete this from here and then go ahead and download this fence winner file. After downloading and click on extract here, and once it is extracted, it will give you this unity package file. Okay, then just double click on it and it will open up this. Okay, this will be all of the materials and everything, but as I told you, this fence, and we already have this gate right here. Okay, so that's why it's showing this, that this material is already inside our package. We just need this fence prefab. Okay, so let's just simply click on import now, and I think yes, it is imported right here. Okay, as you can see, there is the fence and the gate, but is inside, now imported inside the player folder. So what we can do now is just simply drag and drop this prefab from here to this prefab folder. Then let's delete this folder from here. That is it. Now if you click on prefab, here it is. Okay, and now let's just drag and drop this in here. Let's drag and drop it somewhere right here. That's it. Okay, let me set this up. Okay, now if we focus on this, now as you can see, here is the gate and then here is the fence, but it is inside the ground, so we will just simply move it out of the ground like this, and now it is on the ground. As you can see, it looks really beautiful like this. Okay, so now we have all of this fence ready, as you can see. And let me tell you guys that if you don't like this fence style like this, then just go ahead inside the starter asset environment, down, then props. In here, this is the fence. Okay, you can just drag and drop this fence inside your game and create your own fence design. Okay, and once you have your own fence design, then just simply add the mention. So right here we have this mention, so let's just drag and drop it right here, and as you can see, this mention size is a lot more bigger. So first of all, let's click on this mention and let's make the size of this mention, for example, 0.8. Click apply. As you can see, now the size of this mention is a lot more smaller now, but first of all we will check it on our player. So let me move the player closer to this mention from there. Okay, let's move him inside this fence. Let's focus upon the player, move it outside the ground. Now let's play the game and see how does the mention look. Okay, so as you can see, the game is started. Now let's get inside the mention. Whoops. Okay, we don't have the surface layer on this mention, so that's why we can't jump in this area. We can jump right there because there is the surface. Okay, now let's get inside dimension, and as you can see, everything looks perfectly fine. Let's get on top of there. As you can see, our player is not moving in the upward direction, and this is because due to the character controller height. So if we open up the character controller, let's click on the gizmos, turn it on, and then let's decrease the size, I mean the height of the player. Or actually, let's just not decrease the height of the player. Let's go ahead and click on this gangster house, and right here add the surface layer to it. After that, now if we play it again, as you can see now, we can go up like this. I don't know why the player is not moving on the stairs. Now as you can see, we are inside the mansion. I think this size for this mansion will be enough, because as you can see, according to the player body, it looks really fine. Okay, perfectly fine. The garage area is also looking beautiful, and if we check it from the outside, as you can see, it looks really beautiful. So now let me just close the game, click on this gangster house again. Okay, and let's rotate it to the other side like this. Okay, so let's make this value as 90, and then let's put it on the center like this. So now we have added the gangster house. So now if we click on this gangster house, as you can see, the gangster house is not properly on the ground. So let's move it down below like this. Okay, and actually let's move it a little bit. Okay, a little bit uh, on the ground, so that it shows the marble perfectly fine like this. Okay, now as you can see, it is totally on the ground, as you can see. Okay, you can actually, if you want, you can remove these marbles. Okay, as you can see, this is separate from the gangster house. You can remove this if you want. Okay, but if you want to keep it, you can keep it as well. So now after doing that, what we need to do now is, let's get inside this house, and let's remove this sofa, because the sofa makes the game really buggy. Okay, as you know that we have now the furniture for the mansion, so we will simply remove this furniture, because as you know, on this furniture there is no materials. Okay, as you can see, and also it makes the game laggy if the player come closer to it. You can just go ahead and test this out. Okay, so let me just delete all of these things. As you know, they are saying that first of all we need to unpack it completely. Okay, then let's remove everything one by one. So let's select this all, delete it. Okay, this is the bookshelf, move that one as well. Leave the bed right here. Okay, we will remove this bed from here. Now let's check if there is something else. Okay, let's remove this couch and that couch as well. So now, as you can see, there is nothing now left inside this mansion. We will be adding that furniture pack. Okay, now the gangster house looks now a little bit neater. Okay, now let's open up this environment, drag and drop this in there, and let's drag and drop this fence now inside this gangster house. Okay, and then inside this gangster house, create an empty game object by the name of house. Okay, and then inside this house, add all of these things. select all of them and then drag and drop them inside this house game object. Okay, now as you can see, there is the fence and then this is the whole house. Okay, so now the gangster house is looking perfectly fine. Now let's go ahead and play the game. Let's move the player now. Okay, as you can see, our player cannot move. Okay, as you can see, he gets stuck on the stairs. So this is due to this slope limit of the player. Just simply select the player and right here in the character navigator, let's make this for example 70. And now as you can see, the player is moving perfectly fine, but he can't move on that one. So just make this 80 and now you will notice that the player will go perfectly fine on each of the steps. Okay, as you can see, he can move down, he can move up. Okay, as you can see, he just gets stuck right here, so we can just increase this value to 100. And now as you can see, he is moving perfectly fine. Okay, now let's move upwards. As you can see, he can move up and down perfectly fine. Okay, as you can see, and it gives that illusion that the player is going on the stairs. As you can see, he is moving step by step. Okay, so in this way you can solve this issue. Okay, if you have the issue, if the player is not moving on the stairs, then just simply increase the slope limit of the player character controller. Okay, make it 100 and it will simply solve your issue. And I hope now you understand what we did with our mansion. Now in the next video we will add the furniture and the vehicles and also that helicopter. So let's end this video right here.